highly accomplished and multidimensional professional, currently serving as a researcher at PBMEIT India, an advocate, technocrat, academician, author, editor, and peer reviewer. He has an outstanding academic background, holding 12 postgrad degrees in different fields across diverse disciplines. Sir holds a PhD in financial management, and his thesis on mutual funds and their market competition was honored with the prestigious NSE IEA Best Thesis Award. Currently, he is pursuing his second PhD in computer science, focusing on blockchain and artificial intelligence. Dr. Vijay Kittu Manda has made remarkable contributions to research and academia. He has published 147 research papers, including 60 indexed in Scopus, and has over 472 Google Scholar citations. He has also authored more than 785 magazine articles and serves as chief editor and reviewer for reputed publishers such as IEEE, Springer, Emerald Publishing, and Sage Publishing. He is also a session chair, conference advisor, and mentor. He actively contributes to the research community through initiatives like PBMEIT Expert Insights and Art of Researching. Little Flower Degree College warmly welcomes you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful introduction. Sir, Meera. Thank you. Sure. Sure. Thank you, Vijay Reddy Garu, and thank you for the Little Flower Degree College for this wonderful program. I was attending this program for the last few days, and I would say this is one of the best in recent times. And I also have seen the active participation of our participants also, and that is very important. You hear from different people on various things, and the collective wisdom is what make you a good researcher. So I'm so happy that we had a good audience across India who are spending, or rather sacrificing, their precious Sunday for the sake of learning. And I strongly believe in learning. Without learning from others' expertise, we really cannot succeed. We are all connected with each other. So the success of someone or the failure of us will indirectly contribute to our growth if we take it in a positive way and change our ways of doing things. And for the last 6 days, I was observing nice topics, galaxy of speakers, all of them very reputed speakers. To begin with, Professor Anthony, as you have seen, he spoke on AI ethics in a very nice way so that you understand how to use AI in a proper way. And Ramakrishna sir, and later our friends from IP also the City College is also excellent. My own student, Nimit Sharma ma'am from Reva University also spoke. So today, now I understand it's a 7-day program. So today we come to the last day, and I set some expectations right in regarding to how to select journals, how to measure journals, and how to increase our success rate with journals. Now there's a misconception that whatever we write will get published. I mean, in the sense that you can always write and get it published, but getting publication in reputed journals matter more, right? You don't want to just publish somewhere, but you have to publish it in such a journal where you get an audience. So I have a series of slides for you, and also a series of questions, so that probably you can, answer these questions also as we progress through this presentation. To begin with, I will probably, take you through this journey of journal selection, metrics, and ethics. I will give a lot of my personal views, experiences, because the subject is the same no matter who teaches you or explains you. But the personal experience is what matters more and makes the difference. So I wish that our participants also can unmute themselves and speak out and share their views and opinions in the process throughout the session rather than at the end, so that it will be more impactful. Because eventually, Little Flower Degree College and myself, both of us, we are together trying to help you to become better researchers and improve your publication rate. right? So to begin with, I have a very simple question on the screen. I hope you are all able to see the screen. Why research writing? I want you to answer this question. Anyone can unmute themselves and speak out. Why research writing? There is no right or wrong answer. You can speak on your own. There is no judgment here.
For innovation things, finding innovation things.
Okay, that is researching. We research because we want to innovate or find new things. But we are talking about writing here. The focus on research writing. So why do you write research?
Publication in journals.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
proof
very
of
nice.
from our side that we have done some work.
Okay, it is a documentation of a work that we have done. Very good, very nice answer. Both of you, very nice answer. Yes, anything more to add?
Special
Anyone else?
topics, sir.
It's about taking a special topic, a topic which not many people would have discussed or dealt with. Yes, innovative topic or novel topic. Yes, very nice. Anything else?
It's a way of communication.
Very nice. It's a way of communication. We did a research in our subject area and we want to communicate, right? We want to disseminate our ideas to others. Very nice. So collating all those ideas. Yeah, please.
To expand the ideas in a broader way.
Very nice. To expand ideas in a broader way by looking at what is already done and then probably identifying what is not done so that someone else will probably deal with that, right? Very nice.
Sir, advanced approaches in the field.
Okay, so there are some already predefined approaches, but you have designed a new approach of solving a problem. So yes, you want to write and share that approach to the community. Very nice. Very nice. So collating all these ideas, I put something like this. We write research because we want to get our study published, right? So it's a kind of documentation. When you do research, right from day one of doing your research, you have to start documenting it. I always say that research is a journey, right? With a specific start and many milestones. Every milestone is an opportunity for you to publish. So as you progress in your research, you'll find how many ways of doing things or how many ways of not doing things. How many, if you go through a specific approach, you might fail. You want to document all of them. In early days, when people do research in a lab, I mean, research is usually done in a lab. That is the traditional idea or the thought process. Now research is done at home. Research can be done everywhere. Research can be done in the field, in a rural area, in a tribal area, in space, right? So the context of research has diversified, and the core objective of doing research is that at a later point of time, we have to repeat the same experiments. And that is why you need to do a documentation. Because because you do so many things, you tend to forget. We tend to forget what works and what doesn't work. So we always document, and whenever there's a success, we want to repeat the same experiment again and get the same result. If you get the same result, you want to disseminate. So dissemination is done with the help of publication. The second idea is that by writing research, we attract reader interest. And our readers are usually scholarly audience because our write-ups, our work is again read by other researchers. Carefully, by writing it, I would say crafting it carefully, we prove our research capabilities, right? So we write, say for example, you have some idea. You presented the idea in a paragraph. Now you explain the idea to someone else, and they also were able to write it. Sometimes my choice of words, my paragraph would be different from others. And I would probably feel that my colleague's write-up is much better or superior than mine. The idea is the same, but the presentation of the idea is different, right? So by writing research, we are proving our research capabilities, and we are contributing to the body of literature. Our research, especially academic research, is not a secret research. Eventually, the research is to be given to the society. The society should read our research and should implement it and probably solve the problem, right? If there is no problem, if there is no solution, then there is no write-up. There is no need for doing research also. So by doing research, by finding at least a small say a small inch of improvement in the progress, you are adding to the body of literature so that other researchers can get motivated. And we write research because we need to get funds for research, right? Some research can be done without any much cost, but other kind of research requires equipment, lab, infrastructure, resources, which are very, very expensive. I know of my student who is doing her mathematics, PhD in mathematics, and she wants to work on quantum computing. The cost of the quantum computer access for her is around 10,000 rupees per hour. So every hour she wants to solve a problem, she has to pay 10,000 rupees. It's not so easy, especially for a PhD scholar from a private university, because funding for research is very, very difficult for individuals. For governmental agencies and those who work in research labs, it's okay. But how many of us really get funds to do research, right? So by writing well, we want to showcase our abilities, saying that I am a researcher, I present research also very well. And maybe we will convince with our way of writing by way of researching to get funds. And eventually, if you do well, if you are successful in writing, in getting publications, in getting citations, etc., you get laurels, you get accolades and promotions. There is definite clear career growth, because nowadays academicians are also pressured to, or rather given the additional role of being a researcher. So as a teacher, you teach. As an academician, you do that. You do administrative activities. Also, you need to do research activities, get some research publications. I travel across India. I speak to various institutions, and across the board, it is the same. We need to publish or we need to perish, right? So we always want to give it a try. We need to balance. Careful balance between academic roles and research roles is definitely very important, right? Now that leads to another question for me, and I want this question to be answered by you. Where do you write and publish research? Now that we understood that we have to write, and now that we understood what is research writing, we want to focus on where should we write and where should we publish our research? What are the possible outlets for publishing research? Over to you again. You can unmute and answer.
Common platforms like journals.
Okay, platforms like journals. Yes, very nice. Where else?
Blogs.
Okay, blogs to some extent, maybe yes. Especially when you do your personal research, any research which you do on your own for your own insights. But here the context is academic research. So for academic research, where do you write?
Books.
Yes, definitely. Yes, books. You can publish several
seminars.
books. Yes, seminars. More than seminars, conferences. Yes.
So journals and conferences.
Yes, journals and conferences. Very much. Yes, very nice. Okay, so to this question as to where do we write and publish research, we write research in our academic projects. Like for example, we have our UG and PG students doing some research on something, and to get a degree, they have to eventually do a project, and they have to document their work, and then they have to submit a project report. So academic project reports of UG and PG students are also research work. And MPhil dissertation, especially in psychology, MPhil is no longer there, but for psychology, it is still there. And there are many scholars and professors who did their MPhil first before doing a PhD. So you need to submit a dissertation there. I'm an MPhil in computer science, and with that MPhil in computer science, I'm now doing a PhD in computer science. It helps you. But now you directly, after your UG and PG, you can directly do a PhD. So when you write your PhD thesis, you are basically writing research. Okay. Then when you ask for funding, especially for the industry, funding from the industry and academic projects like ICSSR, most arts and humanities ask for funding from ICSSR. And those from science and engineering and technology, they ask for DST. And there are also global institutions like World Bank, for example, who do funding for projects. So when you do a when you apply for a funding project, you have to write a proposal, So wherever you use research proposal, synopsis, all these areas, you use research English. Then you write research papers, as our friend was telling. Yes, research papers and research letters, right? So in that case also, where you present your research work at conferences, etc., you present the research work. So conference papers, journal papers, definitely include that. Then some of you, especially in management, psychology, medicine, you also write case studies, case reports, case letters, and many cases. So in these areas also, you can use research English or research writing. I would actually say that compared to writing a research paper, writing a case study is much easier because of the less rigor nature that is required. And then you can also write research in the form of book chapters, especially in edited books. So when you write a chapter in an edited book, the edited book is, I mean, the audience for targeted audience for edited books are again scholarly community, or rather the academia. Then you can write book reviews and encyclopedia entries. You have lots of handbooks, encyclopedias, etc. Again, targeted for researchers. And of course, many of you also write academic textbooks for your students, for your UG, PG courses, etc., according to the university syllabus, right? So all these areas you write research and publish research. So there are so many outlets or opportunities for you to publish research, right? All these are publication opportunities. The rigor would be different, the size would be different, the format would be different, right? So that leads to the next question. What is an academic journal? Right? What is an academic journal according to you?
A journal which is related to academic.
Okay, so is the textbook also? Is it not? What is an academic journal to you? Many of you write for academic journals, right? You publish your research work in an academic journal. So what exactly is an academic journal? What are the characteristics of a journal? Give it a try. There's no right or wrong answer, so don't worry.
Sir, a place where scholarly papers are there.
Perfect. That is very nice. So yes, what you said is definitely right.
They must be in structure.
Perfect. Yes, they should be more structured in nature. Okay, so as our friend was telling, academic journal is a scholarly journal or a scientific journal. Journal is basically a log. Journal is basically something which documents. Okay. One criteria for a journal is that, in this case, of course, because we are scholarly, it should be a scholarly journal, not an industry journal, because industry journals are also there. Our journals, the target journals are scholarly journals or scientific journals. The next part is it should be a periodic publication. The journal should have a periodicity, right? The periodicity, some journals are like, for example, they publish once in a year. Some journal publishes every 6 months. Some publishes every 4 months. Some publish every 3 months. Some publish monthly. There are some journals which publish fortnightly. Every 15 days, a new issue is generated. Similarly, some journals are there which publish weekly also, right? There are so many journals, thousands of journals are there. So one of the criteria of academic journals is periodicity. So they have to publish periodically. And then they have to be dedicated to disseminating. That means dissemination means publicizing, giving your publication, giving your research work more audience. So they should focus on promoting original research. They should publish scholarly articles and views or opinions or perspectives. And they should help in critical thinking by the scholarly community. The food for scholars is ideas, research problems, right? These journals help an author to reach out to the audience, to the scholarly community, to make them think and probably address them. And in most cases, these academic journals are within a specific academic discipline. Like you see, for example, there are journals within the subject area of mathematics, within the subject area of commerce, within the subject of economics. maybe in some cases 2-3 areas could be merged. For example, management with economics and commerce. Together, all 3 areas can be connected with. Or there could be a journal which publishes all engineering related papers. Or there could be a journal which is called a multidisciplinary journal, which will combine all kinds of research in all kinds of subject areas or fields. They are called multidisciplinary journals. So multidisciplinary journal includes articles from across all subject areas, while subject-specific, discipline-specific, or field of study-specific journals, they publish only in those particular areas. Okay. Now that we understood what is an academic journal, the next obvious question is, what are these words that we see? Scoopers and Web of Science. Right? I'm sure many of you have heard of this, because nowadays publishing in a journal is not sufficient. Our university, our colleges are saying your publication should be in a Scoopers indexed journal or a Web of Science indexed journal. So basically, what are these things? Have you ever seen this access at this Scoopers and Web of Science? What exactly do you think it is? Anyone?
Q1, Q2 journals.
Okay, both of them are close, but not exactly. But very good try. Definitely yes, very good try. So when I'm writing a paper and sending it to a journal, and the journal publishes it, and I gave that copy to the university or my institution, they said it is not Scoopers indexed, so it is not counted, it is not worth it. For example, scholars want, if you see the regulation of PhD for scholars across India, it is mandatory to have a few Scoopers or Web of Science publications, right? So the scholar has to get his or her research work published in one of these journals, which will eventually be Scoopers. Okay.
Sir, peer reviewed. Sir, peer reviewed.
Okay, I will explain that in a minute. So very nice question, very nice question. So journals are of many types. Okay, we defined what a journal is in the previous slide. So say for example, I submit my research work to the journal, and the journal as it is publishes it. Then it is not doing a peer review, right? Because they took the copy, they just published it. They didn't ask me to modify, they didn't give me suggestions. They felt that whatever I write is okay, and they got published. So those are not that grateful or impactful, because I should not always feel that I am right and I am correct with my research work. I want my other peers, other peer means my colleagues, my scholars, other scientists and researchers in this particular subject area to evaluate my study, give me suggestions, help me to improve, and then publish. So peer review means when I submit a paper, when I submit my research work to a journal, the journal should send my work to some people in its network or somewhere else, outside the country also if possible. In most cases, it will be outside the country actually. And professors there who have experience in my subject area on the topic of the study, they will evaluate my study. They will ask me certain questions. They'll suggest me like these things are mandatory, you need to incorporate them. They ask me like to rephrase certain sentences, etc. And then they give me a set of comments. So typically we call it as a blind peer review. Blind peer review means the person who is evaluating my paper will not know who I am. So he doesn't have my name. He will not have my email address. He cannot identify. So he is going to evaluate the paper as if it is from anonymous paper. And they will give me comments. I have to update my paper. I have to revise my paper and then submit it to the editor again, right? Such kind of journals are called peer-reviewed journals, right? Peer review is very important because we want to uphold the ethics. In research ethics, as a part of research ethics, it is mandatory that journals should do peer review in order to have a scholarly audience, right? Then this whole process takes a lot of time. So typically, journal. You have seen in the social media, right? People solicit for publications, for papers, basically. You get emails also sometimes from unknown people asking to submit a paper. And they say we'll publish in 2 days, we'll publish in 5 days, we'll publish in 1 month, etc. And they do publish like that also, but they are mostly predatory journals. Such kind of journals are also not useful. A good peer review journal takes a lot of time because peer reviewers on the other side, they are not paid. It's an honorary job, right? It's a volunteering job. So they're also working professionals across across academia. So they take their time, liberty, etc., give you detailed output, list of questions. Typically, a peer review process, one round of peer review takes a month time, right? And after 1 month, the editor collates these review reports and submits and gives it to you, and he will give you a date again. He'll tell you, like, take 1 more month, right? Incorporate these inputs and suggest and submit a revised version. So you will have to probably take 1 more month to update them and then submit. And then the editor again inspects. Sometimes he sends for another round of review, and this cycle continues till the publication is either okay to publish or to reject. Just because he's asking you to revise doesn't mean that he's going to publish. He's expecting something out of you in terms of quality of your research work. And if you're not able to consistently perform or provide those details despite being told explicitly, then eventually they'll do a rejection. Large reputed journals, the success rate is approximately maybe 9% or 10%. On an average, journal success rate is 10%, which means if 100 people send a paper, only 10 papers will get published. The other 90 will be rejected because of various reasons, mostly quality related reasons. Okay. So those journals, there are so many such journals, by the way, there are around 20,000-30,000 journals like that. So those journals which consistently perform, which consistently ensure that reviews are being properly done, that the reports are being disclosed, there's transparency in the publication process, etc. Those such reputed journals are indexed by databases. Okay, there are two major databases. There are so many such databases. As you can see on the screen, Scopus is one such database, and Web of Science is another reputed database. These are two scholarly reputed databases. Okay, database is a place where you search. They are like search engines. Unfortunately, most of us go to Google Scholar because that is easy to access. And the problem with Google Scholar is that Google Scholar indexes or gives you results of any journal, right? It doesn't look at quality of the journal. It doesn't have any methodology or metric to evaluate journals. If there is a registered journal, like a registered newspaper or registered website, they will index everything there. But Scopus and Web of Science are not like that. They evaluate regularly. Every year, they evaluate around 20,000-30,000 journals, ensure that the journal is very good. And only those journals which follow ethics, only those journals which publish good papers, high quality papers, they will be indexed in there. That is why when we say, like, when we wrote a research paper, it got published in a journal, not many people bother. But if we say that it is published in a Scopus indexed journal, that means the journal is Scopus indexed. That means the journal is part of Scopus. So if you go to scopus.com, you will be able to search for the paper and get the results out of it. It's like a Google search, but a different thing, which is of high quality. So Scopus and Web of Science are two databases. So to answer you, these are two leading abstract and citation databases. These are what most researchers, institutions, and publishers follow. If you are doing high quality research, you require high quality inputs. You have to read high quality papers, right? So instead of going for any search engine, if you are looking for high quality, obviously you have to start your search from Scopus and Web of Science. Okay, and they index, they allow you to search, they allow you to analyze academic literature across all subject areas. They are very diversified in terms of subject areas. So whether you are from arts or humanities, management or psychology, engineering or medicine, all those journals are part of these two databases. Okay, and they serve as great keepers for measuring research impact. Right, research is to be measured also. How many publications are happening on this topic? What are trending topics? What are offsetting topics? Right, and what is the quality of a journal? Which journal is going to publish good quality research in this particular area? For example, I'm studying on blockchain, so I'm interested in finding out the best journals on blockchain. So if I go to Scopus or Web of Science, very high chances that good quality papers, good quality research work will be there. So I read good quality, obviously I will be able to write good quality. But if you start with Google Scholar, for example, as I told you, Google Scholar doesn't measure quality. Everything will be indexed. And if I read low quality or inferior research work, then my output also will be inferior, because what you feed in your mind, that is what you express in your words, right? So if you read good quality papers, you'll be able to write good quality papers also. But not if you don't use these kind of tools, then obviously, the quality will come down, and then you have to struggle to get a publication. So Scopus was started in 2004. There's a company called Elsevier in Netherlands. So Scopus is from this company called Elsevier. It indexes around 18,500 journals across the world. Okay. And there is this Web of Science, which was started in 1964. It is from a company called Clarivate. Clarivate is connected to Thomson Reuters. I hope you know this company called Reuters. Those in journalism will know this. Reuters are like, Reuters is a company which disseminates news, basically. This is the company. It's a long pedigree. And they now have around 21,000 journals. So if any publication in any of these 21 journals, if the journal maintains quality, soon they appear on Web of Science. And any researcher, any scholar who is going to write some research, or who is going to write a paper, a journal paper, or a conference paper, or a thesis, will go there, search, and then cite it. So citing from Scopus and Web of Science journals is very, very important, right? Now this leads to another question, and this is a very important question. Not many people really understand this, but this is very important. So this is a question for you, and I want you to answer. Does Scopus and Web of Science publish papers? When I say papers, it could be a conference paper or a journal paper. So does these companies, these Scopus and Web of Science websites, do they publish papers? So what is your answer?
Maybe no, sir, because they are not publishers.
Okay. Anyone else?
Only generals, sir.
Okay, then that means that Scopus doesn't publish. Then what is the Scopus journal then?
These are the databases, sir.
Okay.
Facilitates publishers.
Facilitates publishers. Publishers are independent actually. We have many publishers in India also, many in Hyderabad also for that matter. So publishers are not connected to Scopus. They should be independent. Otherwise, the quality could be compromised, right? Okay, so I take the answers given to you. So basically what you said is right. Scopus and Web of Science does not publish research. They are not publishers. They do not publish research. Okay. So what do they do then? As our friends were saying, they are indexing the papers. And who is publishing the paper actually? It is the publisher or the journal which is actually publishing the paper. Okay. So journal is a place where your research work is published. Journals are published by the publisher. And the publisher shares the details to Scopus and Web of Science periodically. Whenever a new issue is generated, whenever a new issue is released, they intimate Scopus and Web of Science. Then Scopus and Web of Science, with their own algorithms and systems and people, they verify the quality of the publications of that particular journal. And based on the quality, they will do what is called indexing of the paper. So Scopus and Web of Science are only indexing. They are not publishing. So if someone says that we are going, if you publish in this journal, it will be Scopus indexed, no one can guarantee you this. If someone is saying that we will guarantee you Scopus index, then it is wrong. It is misleading basically, because the journal, your paper will be published by the publisher, not by Scopus, right? So how can someone confirm on behalf of Scopus, right? How can I tell what other person is going to do? It is up to him to decide. So Scopus independently decides whether to index the paper or not based on the quality of the paper. And if this journal is publishing low quality papers, inferior papers, then the journal itself is risking. The journal will be removed from the index. All the existing publications also could be removed, right? That is why you see sometimes, for example, some journals are there. If you see the journal, they say we are Scopus indexed. So if you go to Scopus also, you will get some names and details of the journal. But if you go to the journal website, on the website of the journal, if you take an issue, for example, one particular issue, that issue has around, say, 50 or 100 or 200 research papers. If one issue has 200 papers, then just imagine, how can an editor evaluate 200 papers in a month, right? It is not possible. And if they are doing that, they are compromising on quality. And what does Scopus do? Scopus will remove the journal from the database. Not just that issue, but all the issues of the publisher. So that is why publishers, what they do is some spurious journals, some low quality, unethical publishers, what they do is they will charge a fee, 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh. They charge a fee and they will publish, guaranteeing that they will get the paper indexed in Scopus, which they cannot do, by the way, because Scopus, they cannot dictate Scopus as to what they do. They will take your money, they'll publish the paper, and then they will vanish. Right? This is what is happening very commonly. And what this Scopus and Web of Science does is they also index and they provide metrics also. And Scopus and Web of Science, they insist on quality and ethics. There are some metrics that these institutions do. So if a journal violates either the quality or ethics, the journal and the publications will be out. And they use their own algorithms, own indexing system, etc., to evaluate journals. And in most cases, authors and publishers cannot question or demand or anything. For example, I say that I got a publication. I cannot go to Scopus and say, you are indexing all other papers, but my paper is not indexed. You cannot ask for that. Scopus has its own discretionary system in regard to which papers to index and which papers not to index. Okay. And as I told you, if the question is like who publishes research, the answer is, of course, so many institutions are there which publish research. Basically, they're called academic publishers. There are universities which publish research papers. We have this university in our city. I come from Visakhapatnam, so we have this Geetham University. So Geetham University has its own journal. Most universities have their own journals. Then there are associations also which have journals, trade bodies and private publishers. But there are 5 big publishers. So publishing is not a point. Publishing with a reputed journal is the point. So the big 5 publishers across the world are Elsevier. Elsevier, as I told you, is the company behind Scopus. They're also a kind of publisher. They have a platform called Science Direct. So on the Science Direct platform, they publish research, right? Springer Nature, Wiley is close to 125 years old. It was started on 1904. So since then, they're publishing hundreds of journals. Taylor and Francis and Sage. These are 5 big publishers. Then many universities across the world publish research. Oxford University, very popular. Cambridge University, they have their own press. And then there are associations who publish research. There are some associations which are globally popular. American Chemical Society, ACS, for chemistry-related research. ACM, this is for Association of Computer Machinery. IEEE for engineering and electronics engineering. So these are associations who are also publishing journals. Then there are publishers, third-party publishers, or rather reputed independent private publishers. Emerald, for example, is independent. They're private publishers. D. Grutter from Germany. Walter Queller from, they publish legal and medical journals. MDPI, they have close to 120 plus journals across all subject areas. So these are independent private publishers. So all these people are there who are helping you to publish. So there are publishers, there are journals, right? Now our problem is to find the right journal, because as I told you, there are some places where you should not publish. Anyone who promises you that they'll publish in a weekday's time is less useful, right? That means they're not following the ethics, they're not following peer reviews. Then they're bypassing the process. If they bypass, they risk losing from Scopus, right? So again, predatory journals, fake journals are there. There are hundreds of fake journals. If there is one good journal, there are 10 fake journals. Okay, so you have to protect yourself not falling into the prey of fake journals and ensure that you're publishing in the right journal, right? So how to find the right journal? The best place, I always do this. The best place to find the journal is in your own research paper, in your own manuscript. So when you are developing a research paper, for example, you wrote a 10,000 word paper. Look at the references that you have used. You refer to a paper and cited the reference in your paper. That means you know what the journal is. You liked the paper. You liked it. It helped you to understand something. It communicated something, right? So if you observe in a 10,000 word paper, maybe you'll have some 50 to 100 references, right? So those 50 references could be, like, say, containing 20 to 30 journals. So maybe those 20, 30 journals are your best journals. This is the easiest way to do things, right? So introspect yourself. The answer is already in your paper. If you're reading some papers from a journal, the topic is very aligned to the journal. So the publisher will be very eager to read your paper and also publish your kind of work. But there is other way also where you can use a journal finder. So you can go to Google, for example, and search for journal finder. There are hundreds of journal finders. I showed you this list, right? All these journals have journal finder. For example, I want to publish in this journal called Elsevier. So go to just search Elsevier journal finder, right? Similarly, I want to publish in Relay. Just search Relay journal finder. If you search for that word, you go to the website. They'll ask you for the title. They'll ask you for the abstract. So enter the title, enter the abstract, and they will give you the details about the journal. So this is the second best method of identifying the target journal, right? So use journal finder to find out which journals will be interested for your paper. Okay. Then how do we measure the reputation of a journal? Because we want to publish only in reputed journals. Less quality, spurious journals we want to avoid. For that purpose, there is something called journal metrics. Metrics means measurement tools. Okay. Metrics means quality evaluation tools, right? So there is this website called Schemago.jr. Schemago.jr, it is going to give you a list of Scopus indexed journals in a very easy to understand manner. Okay. I would strongly suggest that you go to this website, give a title. Like, for example, I want to write about sustainability. I want to write about regenerative economy, or I want to write about sustainability, this artificial intelligence. So like, for example, I want to write a paper on artificial intelligence and commerce. So just go to schemagojr.com and then give a search, keyword search, commerce and artificial intelligence. It will give you journals which are in Scopus, which are of reputed nature. You can evaluate the journal. I don't say that you have to go instantly and then just work on one journal. You have to evaluate the journal first, and then before you conclude. Similarly, if you go to Scopus.com, you have something called site score. So when you go to Scopus.com and search for a journal, it will show you site score. The higher the site score, the better it is. Site score is a reputation management system. It's like telling how good is the quality of the journal. And similarly, you have Clarivate impact factor. These are not open for everyone. Anyone, you just go to the browser and then do a search, and you'll get these details. Okay. Then we'll go to author ethics, because if you violate ethics, journals will not be interested in publication. And as a reviewer, when someone is writing a paper and sending it to a journal, the journal sends a paper to me to evaluate. I evaluate at least one paper every day to Scopus indexed journals. So one of my tasks is to check whether the person really did the research or not. Nowadays, with the AI and all, people are writing aggressively, but the publications, I mean, how many papers are eventually getting published? That didn't change much. Good journals don't publish in mass. They don't publish like 10, 20, 30 papers, right? Every issue has a very limited number of, what are called publications. So this is because author ethics are very important. So as an author, what should I do? What are the basic things I have to keep in mind? We'll just quickly check these kind of things. So the first thing is that we need to submit original work. This is very, very important. That means you need to establish originality in your work. You need to explicitly mention how is your research work original, novel, innovative. Generally, journals are not interested in repeat things. If something is already published, why do you again write about it? Right? You have to give some unique perspective about it, some unique dimension which is not already there. Okay, so this is very important. So before you submit a paper next time to a journal, ask yourself, what is originality in this? How is it different from other publications? Right? And explicitly mention that as a line or a paragraph in your work, especially in the introduction section of your work. Right? Then include only those who have made substantial intellectual contributions. Your co-authors should be people who made some valuable work to your research, in your research work, right? But unfortunately in India, one person writes a research work, then the whole battalion joins as a co-authors, right? My supervisor you can easily write research papers. It is more like a structured activity. Everything is very clearly is mentioned, right? The initial hurdles are what you have to cross. Then transparency should be declared. Who is funding your work? Who did what in your research work? We have contributor statements in the research paper. That means who created the idea, who wrote the paper, who conducted the experiment, who created the figures, who created the tables, who accessed the database and brought citations. You have to explicitly mention them and give attribution to them. This author did this. This is data. We are always claiming the results that we have done. We have collected the data. We have done the test, etc. Now universities and adjudicators are asking for the data. They tell you to put it online somewhere. There are so many online repositories where you can put the data and share it for verification purpose, right? Another ethical violation commonly seen in India is that we submit the work to multiple journals, right? You should ensure that you are submitting work only to one journal at a time. Okay, you submit to a journal, say for example, you submitted a paper to a conference. The conference, you presented the paper. They're now not publishing it. Then you want it to be published elsewhere. You have to get a clear withdrawal from the journal, from the public conference before you submit elsewhere. Right? That is why all conferences will tell you, all journals will tell you, submit which is not already submitted elsewhere, which is not under consideration with another journal. You should not submit the same work to two journals at the same time. If for some reason, if both of them publish, it is a big, huge ethical violation. And there are so many reputed people who lost their reputation because the same paper was published by two journals, right? That is clear ethical violation. So as an author, you have to ensure that you are always following ethics and that you're not misleading them, or you are not doing something in an improper way. Now this leads to another question. Why is publication in reputed journals difficult? I said the success rate is only single digit, like 9% or 10%. Why is it that difficult? I will tell you these reasons, because these reasons will have universities have access to them. We have this one nation, one subscription option available. That means, technically speaking, every UGC recognized university should have access to Scopus for free from the UGC, from the Indian government. Indian government is already paying technical processing charges. Okay, I have access to Scopus. I read so many papers of Scopus. I am writing good quality paper also. There are some scholars who write amazing papers. Even first year scholars are writing great papers without using AI, that too, on their own, because they have the original idea. So, but the corresponding author should be from that university. Then 100% waiver. You don't have to pay $1,000 to $5,000, right? So article processing fees. Otherwise, for smaller universities or those universities which do not have these arrangements, etc., you have to pay a large amount of money. The next problem is language proficiency, right? English is not our mother tongue. We are not born English readers or writers. We interpret every statement into our local language. Our thinking is usually in low. Our output also will be of low quality. It will not be high good quality English. We have to struggle a lot in order to write good work, right? Again, summarizing can be done probably, but synthesis is difficult. So we need to improvise our English capabilities. We need to read a lot before we write. And most of us write them, type it in MS Word. If you read one paper and write, say, for example, 100 words about what that paper says, in 30 days, 30 into 100 is around 3,000. Right? So in a year, you can definitely complete a huge number of papers. 365 days into, so if you can read 365 papers, you are definitely better than your supervisor. The problem is we don't have time, we are lazy, we don't want to read, right? So many things. And because of that, quality gets compromised. Then most of us want publications in a hurry. I will send a paper now, tomorrow you publish. Or I recently got a publication in sustainability. The length of the journal paper is 17,000 words. 17,000 words. There could be so many mistakes in that. I'm not God, right? We cannot write a completely 100% perfect paper. It took so many revisions before it get published, right? So it takes a lot of patience in a weekday's time, or maybe a month time. In a short period of time, they are likely to be a predatory journal. No one publishes research instantly without peer reviews. If there are no suggestions asked, if you are not asked to do revisions, it is likely to be a predatory journal. There are rarely, you send it and they publish it kind of opportunities. Not even 1% of success rate. So limited mentorship. Not many people are teaching about how to write and how to publish. They preach a lot. Many people preach. Very few people really mentor. So find a good mentor who trains you in writing research, reading research, methodological way of doing things in research, etc. Then your success rate improves, because mentors guide you or mold your ways. Everything is open, but the path that they, right? So that will lead you to increase your success. Then there is citation disadvantage or reputation issues also. Some journals say that, for example, recently, one of the journal for which I'm editing, they put a new condition. If you want to publish a paper in their journal, you should have a H index of 10. That means you should be a reputed author. That means they are saying that mature authors to write, you should be a reputed author in order for us to publish papers. Otherwise, we are not publishing papers because we don't want to waste time. Now, this situation came because many amateurs, many first-time writers, what they are doing is they're asking AI tools to write, and then they're just blindly copy-pasting and submitting it to them. They are now pressured because of work which is spurious in nature, which is not original research, etc. Lot of intellectual resources and time is getting wasted, right? And then there is sometimes a delayed ethical clearance. There are some universities and reputed research institutes like ICMR, for example. So these committees in the university, you need to take an approval from them before you submit. Okay, and these committees, they meet hardly once in 3 months. So only after their meeting, after they give the approval, you can submit your research work. So this ethical clearances also sometimes takes a lot of time. Psychology research, medicine, wherever human subjects are involved, etc., it requires ethical clearances. In the paper also, you should mention about those aspects, right? And finally, ethical issue, we don't know what ethics are really. Like, for example, I don't know that I should withdraw a paper before submitting it to journals and books, right? To publish, where to publish, in which type, right? To publish, where to publish, in which type of outlet to publish, etc. Your university will tell you. For example, your university, universities don't tell. If your admission is in the last 12 months, UGC now is not, if your admission is in the last 12 months, UGC now is not insisting on Scopus indexed journals. Not just they say you can file a patent also. You can publish a book also, or a book chapter also, which is indexed in Scopus.
Go for a book chapter, it will be included.
Your university will confirm that.
Okay,
so, because, say for example, I belong to XYZ University. I joined last month. The rules for me will be different from that of my seniors. My senior got admission last year, 2 years ago, for example. Their regulations will be different. My regulations will be different. So my suggestion to you is ask your university to give you a copy of regulations for your admission, not any student, any scholar, only for you, for your batch. So for that batch, in the regulations, it will be mentioned as to what you're eligible for. What I spoke is in general. In general, 2 journal papers are required, which are indexed in Scopus and Web of Science.
Okay, sir. And so one more question.
Which are indexed in Scopus and Web of Science.
Okay, sir. And so one more question.
Yeah. Please go
ahead. Sir, actually, IEEE paper or any conference paper, is it related with or correlated with the journal paper, or it is different?
IEEE is a publisher. So they publish conferences. They also publish journals. Journals are different from conferences.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you please tell me the process of publish a paper in any journal?
As I told you, you can directly go to Journal Finder. Let me share you the screen. Okay, so you come here, I hope you are able to see my browser screen here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then just say IEEE Journal Finder. Okay.
Okay, sir.
1 second. I think you're not actually seeing the screen.
Sir, I'm not able to see your screen.
I'll stop sharing now and I will reshare it again. Now you should be able to see the browsers. So what did I do? I just searched for IEEE Journal Finder because you are interested in IEEE journals. You directly go to the official website of IEEE journals. You directly go to the official website of IEEE. Don't go to IEEE. Don't go to any third-party websites or any social media, any third-party websites or any social media friends or anything like that. So this is IEEE publisher. So here you enter your keywords. For example, I want to publish on block artificial intelligence. Okay, I want to publish in artificial intelligence. Okay, I want to publish in edge computing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I will just mention some areas. So I will mention the keywords. Right? I will then search. I'll ask for recommendations. So I am asking for both periodicals and conferences. So these are the journals, right? These are the conferences. You see conferences, right? These are the conferences. You see conferences. So conferences are different. You see the bottom of the screen. These are conferences which will publish. So if you present a conference paper, it will be published in IEEE. These are journal papers. Periodicals means journals.
Okay,
Right?
sir.
So internet computing. This is a journal. Internet computing IEEE. This is their impact factor. We spoke about impact factor, right? So its impact factor is 4.5. It is an open access publication. So you can go to the article submission website, official IEEE website. So click on this, and then you will be able to submit the paper by logging in and directly following their process.
Okay, sir.
Right?
And sir, one more question. Near about what is the fees for a journal publication?
It depends. Some are free, right? Some
Okay.
charge. So here you the APC also on the journal website. So they will mention the APC also. For example, internet computing IEEE, right? I will just search for this word, internet computing, IEEE internet computing. This is the journal. IEEE internet computing. This is the journal, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
here I will look for the article processing fee, APC. They call it as APC. So under author guidelines, they mention these details. So if you see the call for papers, etc., they will mention what kind of papers they are expecting right now, etc. So read the details. So they will mention the fees. If it is only open access, like for example, this is only open access. You see open access availability, they said it is available, right? If it is open access, they charge a big fee. They charge somewhere like $1,000 to $5,000. But if you go for hybrid publication, I mean, some journals are hybrid in nature. Hybrid means closed access will also be there. Like for example, InterScience is there. Even some papers in IEEE also, very few journals are there in IEEE. But InterScience, Sage, etc. If you go to those publishers, what they do is they publish the paper. If it is of high quality, after peer reviews and editorial checks and all, they publish the paper. But that paper, the readers will have to pay a fee, or they should be members of IEEE in order to download them. The authors do not have to pay a fee. If it is open access, that means the PDF copy also will be available online. Everyone will be able to download the file, right?
Okay.
But the authors have to pay a fee. So authors have to pay a fee when it is open access publication.
Okay, sir. And sir, if the co-author is IEEE member, then also in that case we have to pay the fee?
Yes, everyone will probably have to pay a fee for IEEE, but if a co-author is a IEEE member, there will be huge discounts, 50% discount or even 75% discount based on the seniority of the member. So if it is say $1,000, they'll ask you to pay only $200 if your co-author is a IEEE member. That really helps actually.
Sir, some guides also help in this?
You need to ask to the guide actually.
Okay, right? Sure, sir. Thank you.
Basically, supervisor is also a co-author. Ideally, supervisor should know what the student is writing or the scholar is writing. They should contribute also, right? They should guide the student. They should give some ideas. They should correct the paper. They should also be part in the whole process of writing. Every author, not just the supervisor, I mean, not just the scholar and supervisor, all the authors of the paper should know, should be transparent and publication here. It's not so easy to get a publication. So impact factor is about reputation.
Yeah, is it enough for selecting, deciding quality of good?
It is one of the many, need not always be.
Okay.
Impact factor will be subject specific. So when I say 4.5 here, 4.5 is under computer science. But if I write a medicine paper, for example, medical imaging paper, and submit to this, they will publish, but it comes under medicine domain. So in medicine domain, internet computing is not a reputed journal. Its impact factor will be low. So it depends on the subject area, the journal ka subject area also, and then based on that, you can decide on that. Many factors are involved. I generally don't bother about impact factor. Because if I look at impact factor, then I can't write for good journals. I am not eligible for writing in good journals also in that case, right? I will always try. I will always try to write good quality, send it, Let the journal decide my paper is good or not. If they reject, I will look at something else.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Good evening,
yes.
sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Someone.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Very good evening, sir.
Sir, what is EBSCO index? It is equal to Scopus or Web of Science?
It is similar to Scopus and Web of Science, but lesser size, second level index, second level database.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
It is also a database. Like Scopus and Web of Science, EBSCO is also a database.
Okay, it's a good journal or?
It is not at all a journal. It is a database like Scopus. It's a search engine like Google Scholar. It doesn't publish papers.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, very good evening, sir.
Myself, Dr. Prashant, sir, I have two doubts.
Please.
One is actually, suppose I have published one paper, sir. It was in Scopus index. Later on, it removed from the database of the Scopus. In such cases, what is the standardization for that? And some are saying in the internet it's showing Scopus, but after checking in the database of Scopus, it is not replacing. This is one thing. And the second one is, what is the weightage for the first author, second and the corresponding author? The weightage is saying corresponding author and the first author, or any kind of difference, sir?
Who is publishing the paper? The journal publishes the paper.
Exactly.
Who is indexing? Scopus index.
Exactly, sir.
If Scopus indexed at one point of time, but later removed, they can remove only your paper, or they can remove the entire issue or the entire journal also. They can remove any of them. So if they remove, then it is not Scopus indexed, right?
Okay.
Because your paper is not indexed. So ideally, when say for example, I show you my Scopus profile. So when I say I published papers in Scopus, so if you go to the Scopus profile, like for example, some scholar wrote a paper. Okay, he said my paper was published in Scopus. So here you see 60 documents, right? So when I say 60 documents, that means there are 60 publications under my name. It should appear in Scopus. It should appear in Scopus. The name of the paper should be shown like this. If they remove the paper, then this won't appear. Then I cannot say that this is Scopus indexed paper.
For this, we need to register in the elsewhere, no, sir? Elsewhere account.
It is not for registration. The journal which publishes your paper, they will submit these details to Scopus. Then Scopus will verify and index it. Then Scopus automatically creates this profile page for you.
Okay.
You don't have to create anything. You don't have to maintain anything. It will automatically show. I can't add my paper here. I can't remove a paper also. Scopus and this publisher is Sustainability Switzerland. So Scopus and Sustainability, both of them decided this is indexed paper. So they added the paper. Now, because it is added, I can show it to my university because my name is also there as an author here. And it is appearing under my profile.
Exactly.
So after publication, if it does not appear in my profile, it is not good. It is as good as not being published. Not indexed in Scopus. So I cannot claim it.
Correct, sir.
That is the first part. Second question is about the order of authorship.
Corresponding author and the first author. Are both equal priority?
Priority, weightage, etc. is again institutional defined. UGC has different weightages. First author has more importance than second author and third author. Every institution has its own policy. The college or the university explains you that. I cannot comment on that. But from a publication point of view, all authors are equally responsible. So for example, if some court case has come because of the research work, then all the co-authors will become equal parties for them. All authors should be equally responsible for every statement, figure, everything written in the paper. I cannot say, I did not write the paper, my student wrote the paper. You cannot say like that. You will be equally blamed for that. The next important point is corresponding author has more role. He's a liaison between the journal and the author team.
Exactly.
So he has to provide all the details. He has to answer questions on time. He has to convert the formats. He is responsible for ensuring that all the four members, all the co-authors are represented only through him. Only one corresponding author will generally be there. Very few journals allow you multiple corresponding authors, but in most cases, only one author. He is responsible for the communication part of it. But the rigor of the research, the integrity of the research, the accuracy of research, all authors are equally responsible. From an institution perspective, old UGC rule says that the first author gets 50% weightage. Second author gets 25, third author gets 25, like that. So weightage comes down. But then again, that was changed. Again, UGC gave liberty to institutions, universities, and colleges to decide. So ask your university or college for the correct picture. Based on that, the APC score will be decided.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir.
Pleasure, sir.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Very good evening,
sir. What is the difference between the publication from a Scopes or Web of Science indexed journal and a publication from a reputed institution like Oxford or institution like IMF and ADB, Asian Development Bank, which publish the working working papers? Sir, are they of equal quality, or is there any other difference between these two?
I'll first answer the last part. IMF, World Bank, and any universities, etc., who publish work in progress papers, they are not peer reviewed. They are within the institution for internal purpose only or for a limited audience. They cannot be treated to be completed research, and the authors of that research are also from within the institution. I cannot write a paper in ADB as a working paper. I should be an employee of ADB in order to write that paper. Okay,
yes, sir.
That is the first part. The second question is about universities which publish. Universities, private publishers, reputed publishers, commercial publishers, etc., all of them publish journals. But not all journals are indexed in Scopus. For example, our friend was earlier asking, there are so many IEEE journals, right?
Yes.
Just because it is an IEEE journal doesn't mean that it is always automatically indexed in Scopus. For example, there are some criteria based on which journals will be indexed. One of the criteria is a journal should be having 5 years of continuous publication. For example, IEEE started a new journal called, say, Artificial Intelligence 2 years ago.
Yes, sir.
So it is not possible for them to index in Scopus as of now because the journal is not yet 5 years old now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just because it is from a reputed publisher doesn't mean that the journal is automatically with Scopus. There are these journals, these publishers, MDPI, Elsevier, Sage, InterScience. They start new journals also. Every few weeks or every few months, they start new journals also. So unless the journal completes 5 years of continuous publication, they cannot go into Scopus or Web of Science. So they are reputed publishers, but they are not Scopus.
Yes, sir. Sometimes there are call for papers from the institutions like World Bank and ADB, and they later on publish these papers.
They could be conference papers or something. They are not journals per se. I don't know. I don't know of any journal which is run by ADB and IMF. They don't publish.
Yes, sir. They publish on their own. But my question is
not a journal paper. It is not indexed in Scopus.
Yes, sir. It is not indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. But the question is, they are the reputed institutions.
So what?
Are their papers or publications are of same weightage to that of the journals which are indexed in Scopus or Web of Science?
They are not journals, first of all. They don't, Scopus doesn't publish them. They are reputed institutions, but that doesn't mean that it is peer reviewed. They don't confirm that your statements that you presented in that work are correct. In fact, if you see that publication at the bottom of the screen, they say the views are expressed here are of the author. ADB or World Bank is not responsible for the content of the paper. So they don't attach your ideas or they don't supplement things. Such things will not be counted under our academic requirements. It doesn't count for PhD requirements also. Not just that, even RBI, IRDAI, SEBI, and these institutions which are like regulators, etc. in India, they also they conduct conferences, they do this, but they don't count for academic requirements.
Thank you, sir.
Out of your interest, you are writing. Yes.
Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have one doubt based on which how the papers will be published, because once if I told in conference paper, if I done in IEEE, they told that the author, you told the author will be the responsible for every purposes and whatever things they have been done, they have been shown everything. But is it responsible for the co-authors also is also responsible on it?
Yes, 100%.
But yeah, if the in that IEEE, if I done it a paper to with reputed or universities, what they have been told, if I done through was on IEEE, there are co-authors you told the co-authors who are in the university is responsible, but the co-authors in the university should not be cited. It has been shown like that. Is it correct?
Sorry, I didn't understand your question. Can you repeat your question again?
Sure, sir. I mean, you told sir that co-author also is responsible. Well, author and co-authors are responsible for the based on either in conference or in journal paper in type of an IEEE or web of science or scopus, whatever it is, maybe. But I have one doubt whether it is possible. To go ahead with IEEE. In that case, what I had done is it has been shown only the author, not co-authors, will be some other, not towards the university, it should be some other university. Like, for example, they are having some collaborations with them. To that only the co-authors should be reputed on it.
No,
It
nothing
should
like
not
that.
be reputed by any other authors.
Nothing like that. Any individual can be a co-author. He need not be connected with the university or an institution. For example, you are a scholar. Okay, as long as you are a scholar, you are affiliated to your university. After your PhD is over, you are no longer a scholar. Then you become an independent researcher. So you can write papers as an independent researcher in IEEE conference and IEEE journals also. So it is not necessary that you should belong or you should not belong to a specific university in order to get a publication in IEEE. So research doesn't differentiate between you come from a reputed university or you come from a small degree college. It doesn't matter. Everyone has equal chances of getting a publication, provided the study is good. Study is, the research rigor is more important than that.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Now I understand.
So I have a doubt.
Please.
So, sir, as one of the professors or sir who was asking you about the Scopus thing, I didn't clearly understand your answer, sir. As in, you said some of the publications will be indexed in Scopus. I mean, papers and publications or authors will be like basically a journal is indexed in Scopus, and it may be removed from Scopus later on.
That is
So
right.
if an author is recognized in Scopus, even though the journal is removed, the paper is still there. Is it that you were answering, sir?
See, for example, this paper is there, green marketing as a system of value creation. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is already indexed. It is appearing in the profile of all the authors now.
Yes.
Later, it was identified that there is some mistake or grave problem or some integrity issues with the paper. Then Scopus will remove the paper. Or this journal can remove the paper.
Okay.
If they remove, then automatically Scopus also removes it from my profile.
Okay. Sir, I am not asking about profile, sir. Sorry, I'm not talking about a particular paper. What I'm asking is, you said that few of the journals will be removed from
when a journal is removed, then all existing papers or the current issue. It depends on the compromise. Where is the compromise happening? So either one particular issue and all subsequent issues will be removed, or since the start itself, all the journal copies will be removed. All the issues for the last 5 years also, they could be removed. That depends on Scopus investigation. They do an investigation actually for this.
Yeah. So, sir, in some of the interviews post our PhD, if we want to get into a job, these papers add a value, right, sir?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, some of the private universities, or like most of the private universities these days, count publications.
Correct.
Now, say that my paper was once listed on Scopus. There was no issue with my paper, but somehow Scopus found a problem with the journal and they didn't want to de-affiliate the journal or whatever is the case, and my paper is removed. In that case, am I still eligible to show the paper which once existed?
No, because your profile doesn't show the paper.
Okay. So, sir, one of the teachers, one of the madams, she asked you that throughout the conference, throughout my PhD course, what is the ideal number of papers I should have? And you said that 2 of them should be indexed in Scopus and 1 of them have to be in a conference.
Correct. That is right.
So this conference can be any conference, like any university conference or any college conference?
Any international conference.
International conference, not national.
Not national. That is why you need to go ask your department people. You have a research coordinator or research director or research office, right? So you mentioned that your admission in this is in this particular year. For example, my admission is in 2023. Give me the regulation for 2023 scholars. For that entire year, regulations will be the same. So in the regulations, they will clarify you that, I mean, they will clearly explain. In some universities, I'll tell you the difference. In some universities, they say the publication should be at least two publications which are in Scopus. See, publication should be in Scopus indexed journal or a Web of Science journal. Okay, that means the journal should be indexed, but not your paper. But later, afterwards, some universities said it should appear in your profile of Scopus and Web of Science. Some universities carefully word it, saying that we are not worried about the journal. Journal could be or could not be in Scopus, but in the profile page of Scopus, your paper should appear. So they're insisting on indexing in the profile of Scopus, not just publication. Some people say, some other universities say, it should be either in Scopus or Web of Science or PubMed. PubMed is again another database, medicine database of United States government. So they also publish papers. So one of my colleague, my co-scholar, he is doing a study on medical oxygen gas cylinders.
Yes, sir.
His study is in operations management. He's a PhD in management under operations management. But his publication was in PubMed, not in Scopus, not in Web of Science. But he was eligible, so he fulfilled the criteria. He got his PhD. So read the regulations of your university. Generally, they give it in the beginning of the year. I mean, when you take an admission, at that time they give you. That's like prospectus basically for your PhD admission. Otherwise, if you are doubtful, ask them clearly in writing, not verbal. This thing. Ask clearly in writing. Email your university, whosoever it is. Put a CC to your supervisor. Ask them, what is my PhD regulation? Give me a copy of regulation, or tell me how many publications in journals are necessary. How many should be in conferences. Take clear things in writing. Tomorrow, if there is a dispute, you can show that output and then show. There are so many such cases actually. So scholars should be more careful. And verbally people tell so many things, but when you ask them to put in writing, not many people will put that, because tomorrow they should not deny you any process problems or anything like that, right? They should not create them. So it's better to take it in writing.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I wanted to ask one more thing. Sir, I don't know if this was addressed in today's conference, today's class, because my call got disconnected in between and then I rejoined. So I wanted to know something about the Google Scholar profile. So, when we make publications, it appears on Google Scholar as well, sir, or we have to create that separately?
You don't have to create, it gets automatically created.
Okay.
And Scopus will maintain your profile.
Okay. No, sir. Scopus profile and Google Scholar are the different profiles, sir?
Yes, different.
Yeah. So Google Scholar, I don't have to. Okay.
Scopus profile, whenever you have at least one Scopus publication, then automatically your profile page will be created.
Yes,
and
sir.
every new publication automatically get added to the profile.
So,
and
sir,
even if you create a profile page also, you can only see the details. You can't modify any existing details. You can't remove a paper. You can't claim a new paper also. So it doesn't
in case of Scopus.
Yes. It's automatically maintained.
So, sir, Scopus has both free as well as paid journals.
Yes, Scopus indexes every journal. It doesn't matter whether you pay a fee or not. Who charges a fee? The journal charges a fee. So Scopus doesn't know who is charging how much.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
If we publish any paper in particular, any journal like UGC care listed,
there is no UGC care now.
UGC, yeah.
There is no UGC care now. UGC care was discontinued. So if someone says this is a UGC care journal, they are misleading you. Stay away from them.
Sir, and there are certain mails which, because we will be searching so much about papers, right, sir? Because all of us are not very sure that, how to publish. So we keep on making our searches, till we have an FDP like you conducted. So as as scholars, as academicians, we get misled so many times. So while accessing all of this, we know that technology has advanced so much that we register our mail somewhere, like email ID somewhere, or they track our email ID somewhere, and we get mails regarding journals that so and so journal is having impact factor, say 7 or something, sorry, 4.5 or 6, something like that. And it is inviting papers. For example, a paper journal I am getting mail from very regularly is some journal of International Journal of Management or something. So how do I know if it is an authenticated journal?
The journal could be authentic, or it could be predatory. We cannot make sure like that. But most reputed journals don't send emails.
Yeah, that is what I was skeptic about.
Please understand, journals already have thousands of papers in pending, thousands of papers, and success rate is only single digit. So journals don't beg for papers basically. Okay. Our job is to reject as many as possible, as quickly as possible, so that only high quality papers can be identified as early as possible to fill. So most reputed journals don't have any backlog or any slots to fill. There is huge demand for each slot.
Yes,
so if someone is sending an email saying that they will publish, etc., the immediate focus will be like you don't even go through any of them. I just put them under spam. I don't even bother to even go through them. Very rarely you will get an invitation to submit. If you got such an invitation specifically to write, that too from a reputed journal, go to the official website of the journal. Right. For example, like journalist Springer, for example, they say we are writing for Springer Nature. Then you go to Springer Nature official website, search it, not by clicking on the link in the email. Never click on links in the email. Search for that journal online on the internet. If there are 2-3 journals with the same name, then could be a predatory journal. Most journals will have 2-3 journals with the same name, similar website, similar domain name, etc. You should be very extra careful. Predatory journal is a very big topic. We have to discuss on a different session altogether. So my suggestion is generally don't entertain those kind of emails, or even in the social media also you should not actually unless they are from very trusted people whom you personally know them. Don't even bother to respond to them or even entertain their queries, etc. Even individuals also do lots of spams and scams.
Right. So even on LinkedIn these days, there is an open call from Elsevier or something. I am unable to pronounce it properly. ELSEIVER, something like that. It's like calling papers for accountancy and finance.
Elsevier never calls for papers like that.
Okay.
Even if they call, you should even go to Elsevier official website and submit from there rather than clicking on the link in LinkedIn. See, LinkedIn and WhatsApp are no different. They are just social media, right? We don't know whether it is from a trusted person or not. So we cannot make sure.
Like Elsevier, does it have a LinkedIn profile?
Everyone has a LinkedIn profile. Yes, Elsevier also has a LinkedIn profile. But how can you be sure that it is the official Elsevier LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, that is what. As you said, predatory. It is a very big scam. It's a different.
Look for the contact numbers, etc. If they are from Indian contact numbers, then 100% they are fake profile basically.
Okay. Usually these numbers are foreign numbers, right?
Yes, Netherlands, UK, US.
Right.
It's very difficult to get a fake number in the US or UK, such kind of places especially. It's very easy to fake numbers in India.
Right, sir.
Yes. Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, Jolly ma'am, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I need one suggestion. One article I published in Scopus and Springer. So there, while submission process, one option is there that is mandatory to click a tick. That is research square.
I don't think so. Research Square is a preprint publisher. They are like mediators.
Preprint. Yes. Some the Springer Nature in some Springer Nature journals I saw it, sir. Actually, I did it also because with no option I selected that Research Square. So what happened means that journal rejected my paper. So when I'm trying to publish the same paper in other journal, it is showing as an plagiarism. So it is showing an
preprint servers will not be considered under plagiarism. So
but it is coming, sir, actually, where when I checked in the Turnitin and everything, no? So 40% plagiarism, it is coming from the research square.
You need to disable the paper in your Turnitin settings and then search for plagiarism.
Actually, other journals also, actually, they are sending the message, huge plagiarism is there. So much of work copied from...
Explain them, tell them that it is published on a preprint server called Research Square. So it should be considered to be preprint and hence you can consider.
Yes,
journals
sir, I did also, sir.
Publications, yes.
I did, sir. Actually, I wrote on letter separately to the editor also, but they didn't consider. So this
is
problem...
a low quality publisher, they don't even know preprint servers. So then that is why they would not have accepted. But Springer, IEEE and all, they accept them. They understand that it is a preprint server and that is accepted also.
So with no option, I have to again go with the Springer journals only. If I go with
not
any...
necessary. Springer is not related with the Research Square. Research Square is an independent company which runs
independent, but it is there in those journals, sir. It is asking to clear, to tick a mark.
In your case, it was like that for that particular case. I don't know why it is so. Maybe your conference or the team who is handling your paper was asking for that. But publishing on preprint servers is not a problem to publish in a reputed journal. You can mention that in the email and then they will understand and ignore the part and then proceed it with that. They will evaluate with the rest of the paper.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a query about IUP journals, IUP and ABDC index journals.
IUP is a publisher, something like Cambridge and Oxford and Elsevier. ABDC is another database, basically, something similar to Scopus and Web of Science. ABDC has its own member institutions. So journals from their member institutions will be indexed. ABDC journals are again reputed indexed journals only. Some institutions recognize them, not all of them. ABDC journals are not sufficient for PhD submissions or publications. So it counts as a journal publication, but it doesn't count under Scopus indexed. Very few of them are really indexed in both Scopus and ABDC. They are independent altogether. Right, Jyotima?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I have a query.
Yes, Jyotima, please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I am trying to search my topic in the journal finder Elsevier.com. I tried to search by keywords as well as title, but it is not showing anything to me. No journal is available as for this particular thing.
Jolly ma'am, I cannot hear you. Can you type your question in the chat box so that I can go through it and answer instead?
Yes.
Please. I will definitely answer your question.
Thank you.
Ravindranath has a very good suggestion. Yes, one question per author per participant is definitely yes. I think we are actually over exceeding time. So we will take that question from Jolly and probably wind up. Right? Appreciate your patience actually of all of you. Yes, sir. We'll take one question from Jolly. She's typing the question and then we'll wind up.
So, hats off to your patience and the way you have handled the session. I think the question answer session of 45 minutes is something really amazing.
Patrick, sir, very good evening, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I think it was very insightful.
It is good, sir. Basically, when people ask questions, we feel that is how we really can answer more than
I think people have made best out of your experience and whatever things that you know about journals. Plenty of things you have shared. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So Jolly ma'am is saying, I am searching my title in Elsevier, but I am not getting any input. I don't know what she actually means. Title, I believe, is the title of her paper. Maybe she would have submitted a paper to a journal. Maybe the journal paper also got published, but when she's searching on Scopus, she's not able to get the paper, right? Jolly ma'am, first thing is, where are you searching exactly? Now, let me share my screen and show you for a minute. So you say you are searching on Scopus, but there are two things in Scopus. Not everyone has full access to Scopus. So let me share my screen. So this is my Scopus profile, right? So if you go to scopus.com, first thing that you observe is logo. Look at the logo. So logo shows only Scopus here. That means this is the full access of Scopus. Most of you, when you go to Scopus, if you don't have access to Scopus, it says Scopus preview, right? Under Scopus, you have a word called preview. That means you don't have full access to that. When you use preview, you don't see the search here. You will get sources, but you don't see search, right? When you see search, when you click on a search, and when you get the search box of the Scopus, this is where you say you have full access to Scopus, right? If you have a preview access only, then you can search on sources. Sources means journals and conferences which are published. So if you go to sources, as of now, Scopus has 49,000 sources. That means the names of the conferences or the names of the journals will be shown. Your paper will not be shown. Your title of a paper will not appear here. So where does the paper title appear? I mean, title here is journal title or conference title, not the paper title. So if you go to search option, there you see article title. Article title may you have to search for the particular name, right? For example, as I showed you, there is one paper. I'll show you my profile page. Like if you go to my web, this is my list of articles that I've written. For example, I will take one paper. For example, this financial technology as a game changer for financial institutions. Okay, I want to know whether it is Scopus indexed or not. I'll copy the title, come to Scopus search, not on sources, search. And under title, I will paste the title and then search. So when you search here, if the result comes, then it is indexed. If the result didn't come, it is not indexed. That means this particular paper I'm talking about is from a reputed publisher, but not indexed as of now. The publisher might say we will be indexed, but as of now it is not indexed. But there could be some other paper, for example, experiential marketing. For example, look at this paper. I'll type this. I'll copy paste this title. Title. I'm taking it as a title of the paper. So under article title, paste the title. You search for that. Right? One document found. This is the paper. You see my name also, Manda VK. I'm a co-author for this. So this is indexed, right? So it so happens that when you see this result, it means it is indexed in Scopus also. Is it published? Yes, it is published. Is it indexed? This paper is indexed, but the other paper is not indexed. Even when they are reputed institutions, both the institutions could have been, published. Both the papers could have been published at the same time. So Scopus also takes a lot of time sometimes, 6 months to 1 year also it will take. And even if one journal is submitted, few papers will be indexed and few papers could not be or will not be indexed also. So just because a paper got indexed already from that particular journal doesn't mean that my publication also will be indexed. It depends on the quality of your paper according to Scopus metrics, apart from journal metrics. Then you can probably decide on that. Right? I hope I answered your question, Jolly ma'am. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, great. Over to you, Vijay sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to one and all. I feel honored to propose the vote of thanks on this final day of the 7-day faculty development program on ideas for publication using AI and statistical tools. It was a highly interactive session today. First, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Vijaya Kittu Manda, researcher at PBMEIT India, for delivering an excellent session on journal selection, metrics, and ethics. Dr. Vijaya Kittu clearly explained the process of selecting Scopus indexed journals, understanding their quality metrics, and identifying suitable journals for publication. He also provided clear guidance on the peer review process and the step by step procedure for publishing research papers effectively. Further, he offered a clear understanding of Scopus and Web of Science as leading indexing platforms, explaining how they help assess the quality and impact of research papers while playing a crucial role in indexing and enhancing the visibility of scholarly publications. Sir also explained the importance of author etiquette, highlighting ethical practices such as proper citation, avoiding plagiarism, maintaining transparency, and following publication guidelines. He emphasized the need for integrity and responsibility while preparing submitting research work. He further explained the predatory journals are unethical publications that charge fee without proper peer review or quality checks, misleading authors and compromising research integrity. Sir clarified participant doubt patiently and provided a clear understanding of journals and the publication process with practical exposure. Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Sir, your valuable insights and guidance throughout this program have been very helpful and informative. We sincerely thank our director, Reverend Brother John Kalarkar, Principal Mrs. Jayanti Reddy ma'am, for their constant encouragement and support in organizing this 7-day faculty development program. I also thank the Department of Physical Sciences and all the staff members for their excellent coordination and cooperation in successful conducting this 7-day program. A special word of thanks to all the participants for their active involvement, thoughtful interactions, and enthusiasm, which made all the sessions meaningful and productive. Finally, we thank everyone who directly and indirectly contributed to the success of this 7-day faculty development program. Thank you, one and all. Have a good evening.
Thank you and good luck to everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.